Sorry about that. The technophobe in me has just taken a very, very long time to get that sorted. Okay, I think we're on. So, welcome to the live stream. I am the player who plays as the King Under the Mountain. This is a very, very new experience and is very, very slow. So today is a season start. Normally, I'd be probably on 130s by now, I would guess. Maybe something like that. This is TE non-roleplay. Here's the leaderboard. So we're currently in 4th. We've used quite a lot of stamina. So we've got a bit left in a mains, to be fair, which have kind of Dane and Shadow and Gandalf the White. But we've pretty much used all of Sauron's, and we've used all of Gimli's, and we've used quite a bit of Bjorn's, and definitely most of Scalhelm's, who's been genuinely useless at this stage. So yeah, it's a much slower experience. So let's start at the beginning. This season I'm still with Dobie, but we have called ourselves Kilt. So we are Kilt for this season. Also in this server is Honk. As you can see, we're currently top of production. We are going to be kingdom partners with Honk. Odin are in this server, who are also the old bank crew. Then you've got Ibis, Avalon, Arta, Echo down here as well. Nice to see. Dune, Mesh. So it's quite a decent server. This is actually another fellowship of ours, just a small one. So there you go. I'll tell you what will be interesting, actually, see the commanders on the server and where people are at. So some people are actually at level 20 and 21. Raven naturally is at level 20. It's definitely a lot tougher and a lot slower. So what's happened is they've introduced, let's see if we can find someone who's level 5. So if you're level 5, you only get a weapon slot. If you're level 10, you get a helmet slot as well. If you're level 15, you then get a chest piece, and level 20, you finally get your accessory. This dramatically slows it down. And I'll kind of show you that from the kind of tiles that we're taking here. So we're still on, with some formations, 60s. And we're still getting trashed on 60s with, you know, some okay stuff, because you've still only got 2 or 3 gear pieces on most commanders. At this point, Gandalf was only 9, so I'd expect that to be a little bit cleaner in the future. We're just setting back up. So we are using elves for a start, which, I don't know, I kind of feel like I need to keep quiet, because otherwise people are going to start saying, but you hate elves, which I do, but a Gil-galad start in the new way of doing things is arguably the best way of doing it, I think. So yeah, so let's just set up a tile. So particularly now, point number 1, your new best friend, and if it wasn't before, it definitely is now, is clairvoyance. Because clairvoyance actually allows you to see what's going on the tiles. And you really need that now, rather than just randomly hitting. Genuinely a little bit crazy, to be fair. So this is where we're at with the barracks. This is the Elven barracks. We're at quarters 5. We're trying to save for main hall 6, which is going to take about another year. We haven't got to. We haven't actually got to a point yet where we can get 4 commanders, so that's going to take a long period of time as well. Let me just drop this link somewhere. Wait there. Oh, but yeah, it's a very slow, tricky experience, shall we say. However, still enjoyable, but definitely more tricky. let's see if we can put it in. That'll do for now. So yeah, here we are. So building wise, we're doing okay, I think. We're about 4th in the server. Things were a lot slower. Everyone's kind of complaining that it takes a long time to get going, and it definitely does take a long time to get going. Like 40s seem like hard work, 30s seem like hard work. There's some quite interesting stuff. So I've pinned all these, which are the tiles that I'm thinking of taking that are around me. Obviously, we started in 5 streams, so I'm not too bad where I am. Some people are a bit unlucky and got half the range as a mountain range, so I'm not completely terrible. I've got a bit in the north, and I can sort of do a lot down the south. The other mechanic which they've changed, which I find quite interesting, and these are different progression points. So I can't enter into Mordor, for example, until server progress 6, which is quite interesting. How they've locked that so you can't sort of just go invading people's lands. Server progress 4 seems to be the way into the center. And I'm not sure how I feel about this mechanic, because I feel like if you're a team that worked hard enough to get there before that, you should probably be allowed to do it. But yeah, it seems the ones to the center are sort of 4. Let's try and take a 60. Which sounds, at this point in the server, what are we, 5 hours in? Sounds pretty horrible, but that's where we're at. So let's go on to the Gandalf formation. So we're kind of using this formation at a minute. We've set this up nicely. We're using a couple of troops on each one to keep the commanders alive a little bit longer, because they haven't got the equipment to kind of back them up. I've already pinned some 60s around here that I think I should be okay to take. So this is full trolls. That'll still hurt, because Hergon tiles hurt, but we'll go for it anyway. With the old Gandalf formation. So what you basically need to do at the moment is you need to clairvoyance pretty much every tile that you're trying to take. I wonder if I've got any that I haven't done. I've already done all these, so I think I've already done that one. Here you go. So we're using clairvoyance, and what happens is it allows you to look for counters. So on this, for example, you could use medium units on your damage dealers to get the extra 20% counter, which you really need now, whereas before I was always lazy and didn't really use clairvoyance at all. Ring wise, we're up to level 8. Hopefully we'll get to level 10 soon, and when we get to level 10 we're going to have a go at taking some 130s, I think, and a 150, so we can gather from, so we can really get going. But for now it's a slow slog. So on this one we're countering with the fact that we've got all small units, and on this tile we should be hitting all large units, even though it's trolls. Lego hits quite hard. So this is probably a silly thing to do. Hergon also hits stupidly hard, considering it's Hergon, and then Ori is the single biggest champion ever on a tile, so Ori with trolls, genuinely frightening. So we're going to keep trying to take 60s. We are at tile limit, so we're going to drop this. And then we're probably I'll probably show you where we're at with skills. So we're trying to hit early damage as much as possible. So we're using Gandalf here for White Council more than anything else, and a bit of a heal. Not a fantastic heal, but a bit of a heal. Witch King's going early damage with Nazgul. We've got a point in Lord of Minas Morgul, just so we're getting this this sort of attack, focus, and defense modified by command stat down. What I might do is I might swap this headpiece with Gandalf, to be honest, so I get more command, so I can sort of debuff that a little bit further. We've obviously Drew on the tile, I'm guessing, because Witch King's dead. And then with Skalhelm, who I find genuinely useless, even though she's currently got 3 pieces of equipment, we're again going for early damage, and then a little bit more dot range damage in round 3. But that's kind of where we're at the minute. So we have drew on this tile. We will take the tile, but again, it's not exactly ideal losses. We're just trying to level up as fast as we can at the moment. I think as soon as we get to level 20, we should be okay. Hello, Shane. And hello to the hearts. I'm presuming at this stage the wife, bless her, is watching and sending me a load of hearts, and I love you too. Oh, hey, from Ibis. Nice. You guys looking forward to the server? If you could do me a really big favour, Shane, as well, if you could just kind of post in World Chat and try and get a couple of people here as well, that'd be really nice. So that's kind of where we're at. I'll just go through the leaderboard while we're waiting for that draw to tick down. So, as usual, Raven is at the top. Who is this? Atomic Punisher Wolfman. That is a mouthful of a name. Then we've got Mr. Donut from Ibis. Then Marissa from Peen. I don't know why Marissa's in Peen, to be honest. And then we've got some Mesh. Odin, which is the old bank crew, is not Funk. I believe this is Funk. So nice try, Funk. And I believe it's the Kaifas account. This account here is nasty as well, the Ogre account. And then, of course, we're playing with Riv this year, which I'm genuinely quite excited about. Quite excited about playing with Riv. He's a bit of a troll, but nice guy. Yeah, really good start so far. It just feels slower. I feel like by now I'd quite like to be into 130s, but I guess everyone's in the same boat, so I suppose to see what people come out at this stage is going to be the key, I guess. Some people, I presume, will have burnt all the stamina getting to level 20. I try not to do that, so what we've been trying to do, and we'll go through some of the old reports. So we've got 2 teams taking 90s, kind of using Bjorn a little bit into Skin Changer, but mainly into Enemy of the Orcs, just to try and get some early damage in. I don't see the point in trying to protect troops, so I'm using this purple set rather than what I'd normally use, which is my Elf Hauberk, just because I'm getting more attack and I don't put many troops on the damage dealers anyway. So I found tier 2s have really helped with tiles. Gimli wise, again, just using the perps just to stack it up. Getting the extra attack from Experienced Warrior. Trying to get Durin's Blood as high as I can. And then we've got Lord of the Glittering Caves at 5 points as well. Might change that soon. Where are you at, Rich, in the server? What number are you? This is where I've been clairvoyance in like a million tiles. Some tiles are better than others, obviously, but this was a nice tile. It's nice when your damage dealers hardly take a hit, to be honest. And decent XP, I suppose, but this is a nice tile to hit. And then Sauron-wise, we are using the enemy, but I don't see the point in having 10 points in here because we're not facing 4 formations yet, so there's no point. Then we've got a point in here for the stun potential. We've got a point in here for the madness potential, and then the rest is debuff, well, buffing us, debuffing them, I suppose, with the damage received. Yeah, Gimli's alright. I prefer Shadow at the minute, though. 24 hours ago, but none of us when the season actually ends. Right, if you're in season 1, I don't know what day of the season you're on, but you should be able to find out. So you'll get, hopefully this draw I win, by the way. Be pretty embarrassing start. There we go. That's that done. Okay, so let's send him back. So if you're new and in season 1, if you press the season button at the bottom here, I think it is, and then go to target. So this will tell you how many days. So it will tell you that you've got 60 days before the cutoff, and my season began today. So Dol Guldur could be taken after about 30 days, I guess. There still might be half the season left. But what generally happens is when you get to about, day 28, so you still probably got 20-ish days left, I would think, to try and take Dol Guldur back. what you'll see in about 20 days time is a timer comes up here and it says you'll go to bag end in about 10 days or so, something like that, or 7 days sometimes. Depends on how the timer's operating. So you've got plenty of season left yet. So I think what we're going to do here is we're just going to switch Gandalf to these tier 2s and try and tank a little bit better. I didn't really want to waste the tier 2 troops, but I feel like we need them. And then we're going to hit Glacier, I think. Once I know that we're actually still alive. Quite like getting rid of these to a degree. So as you can see, I really haven't liked Scalhelm so far. She's level 16, but hasn't hit. I've always found her slightly disappointing unless you literally invest a house in her. The other thing as well they seem to have changed is that you don't get the Lord of Evil deal or anything like that anymore. So the packs wise, we didn't actually get anything as we've come into the server. Always pick these up if you have 200 gems spare. The extra resources do come in really handy, particularly towards the back end of day one. The other thing that we've done, and this is more through preference and I suppose through the fact that I got a lot of purple gear, is we upgraded the market to full as far as we can by buying all these items, by trading some of this gold into silver bars. But we're a long way from 120,000 stone currently. Yeah, you don't want everyone becoming a mega faction and doing 3 million production. That does happen still in servers when you go beyond season 2. You'll go into sort of like a pre-arranged server in season 2, and then the issue that you kind of have is in season 3 you might end up meeting a team like ours, or an even bigger team than ours, to be honest. They do need to do some work around matchmaking and make sure that sort of new fellowships can still play the game how they want to without having to organise it themselves. So we did in the end take this tile. That's too heavy a loss really for my taste. The good thing about the first 24 hours is that you, even if your comm dies, as long as you stay in the draw, they'll come back alive and can fight again, and that's why we finished this off. So if we now go into the draw, see, they were both alive when we finished that tile off. Hello. Hello, Romain Love. I'm secretly kind of praying that someone like Riv doesn't know that I'm on and comes trolling me. But at the moment we're sat okay, we're in 7th, so after this tile we'll go up to 5th again. Providing we take it straight away, which we have done. That's obviously a lot easier tile than the last one, so we know for future that glacier tiles are quite handy. Also, it helped that we used tier 2s in this, so didn't even die, kill all my troops on the Witch King. This formation's probably almost ready for 90s. I'll just probably wait until they get to sort of level 15, so I've got an extra piece of equipment for them. So one more level, I think. Witch King I'm using for damage rather than troops. Just because I think with this early damage, you need commander damage quite substantially to get it right. I know I'm a bit of a dwarf fan. I have used Gil-galad. I have gone for elves. I'm sorry. Yeah, thanks for hopping on. Yeah, it's a long time, the 20 days, and you do kind of have to find a way of entertaining yourself. Probably the best thing that you could do is test out what sort of commanders that you've got and sort of try fighting like that. Or it's a long time to try and get someone to change diplomatically. For me, there's probably a bit too much diplomacy at times in the game, though, so I'd probably just be looking to sort of test my builds and maybe watch some videos and things like that and learn more about the game. But it's nice to see new players actually joining the game still, which is good. Particularly now, I actually think the game's in an alright place at the moment, but we're probably going to take this tile on here, I think. So because this is large again, we should be okay. So it was this one, I think. But But yeah, clairvoyance has definitely been my friend so far today. Is everyone back alive? And we're at tile cap. So I'm just trying to get the maximum amount of resources I can. So I'm leaving myself capped on tiles and then deleting 15s as I go. Hopefully, what I'll need to do at some point soon is get a commander to level 20 so I can actually get through this chapter. And then pick up another 2 or 3 tiles, which would be handy. Like I say, ring level wise, we are now level 8. Hopefully we'll get to level 10 soon and I'll be able to show you how to reset the ring. I'm probably going to be on for another hour or so, I think. Have we already done it? So basically we're using clairvoyance on all these tiles to see what we have behind them all. And clairvoyance is good now because it doesn't actually cost you anything. Whereas before it used to cost you a ring point. So, and this is where I know people kind of said that you can't sit on the game now for hours and hours and hours on the first day. I actually think you can. You just find clairvoyance to pick the right tile. Like that's an okay tile to go for as far as a 90 goes. Which one was that? Was that one? Yeah. So pin that for later. I quite like how you can name the pins now as well. This one probably isn't too bad because I would imagine Gandalf's just on the heel. Yeah, he's on the heel, not White Council. So if it was White Council, that'd probably be a little bit harder tile. But with him just being on the heel, we can pin that one for later too. So what we're looking for in these tiles is we're looking for stuff whereby they've probably got one damage skill that isn't too heavy hitting. Like that's quite substantial damage. So even though the likelihood is it'll run into something like a White Council if we're using a Gandalf, when you mix that with Legolas, is also doing quite a lot of damage. And you mix it with Hergon, who's also got a damage skill. But even though they haven't got any protection, that's quite a horrible tile. So we'll probably avoid that one for now. And this one looks like taking candy from a baby. Mainly because it's medium units here and he's only got small units. So there's a little bit of plus attack. That's about it. So that's probably one of the easiest 90s you'll ever hit. Right there, I would say. So pin that one. Probably try first, I think. It's never good when leadership falls apart like that, no. So thankfully we've got quite a strong leadership team that does really well. It's been the same team for a really long period of time and we do a good job of it, really. Yeah. Right. So I think we probably go one more 60 with these. And the temptation is to go straight into a 90, but I don't trust Skalhelm to do what I needed to. Although I might get away with this one. Was it smalls? Okay, we're gonna go for it. I might die, but we'll push along. So what we're doing here is we are switching to medium units. And the reason why we're switching to these medium units on the damage dealers is so we can take advantage of the counter system. So we'll set off to here and I'll show you. So what you're going to be doing now on day... Yeah, we're already past territory limit. So what you're going to be doing a lot of now on day 1 is you're going to be looking for counters on tiles because you haven't got the equipment to back yourself up. So by clairvoyancing, I'm going to take advantage of the fact that my medium units are going to counter these small units. And even though they're all tier 2s, there isn't a lot of damage in this formation, so there's just Barlin with 1. And then this is literally, he's got 0 skills that are going to affect anything, because there's no mounted units. And then Merry and Pippin are going to increase the attack by 27, modified by the command, so that, which I think they haven't actually got any command equipment in there. So, you know, that's probably one of the easiest 90s. So even though this is a bit of a stretch for this formation, should still work okay. So we'll keep walking along. But yeah, you see, this is a really interesting topic. I did actually do a video on this not so long ago, called resource rotation, and I'm not one that's too fussed about what I take in regards to stone or wood or whatever it might be. Particularly early game, whereby you need a lot of stone anyway. So the ideal is that you balance them out so that towards the back end of the game you've got less stone because you don't need it, and you'll have more ore and grain and wood to help you create troops. Early game you kind of want more stone if you can. My only point is that what tends to happen when you get onto a battlefield is if someone sees a 230 stone, it lasts a lot longer without someone taking it, or 200 stones, whereas people kind of rush for sort of 200 grains or 200 ores a little bit more. So I tend to pick up quite a lot of the 200 stones, which tend to last further if you ever get pushed, because people tend to take them last. So from a resource allocation point of view, yeah, you do kind of want to change it as you go through. So at the moment you should be looking for more stone because it's day one and you're going to use a lot more stone. From sort of day 20 onwards, at the latest, because you'll have all your buildings built by probably day 10, you should be looking at having more grain and ore and wood than any of the others, particularly grain if you can. Morning, Porky. Oink. And you are definitely a bigger whale than me now. I keep missing out on the help thing as well, So where are we at here? Where are we about to go up to? So we're currently in 4th. We should go up into 3rd. Maybe even 2nd, actually, as long as it takes us straight away. There's a chance I might fail this tile. That should be okay. Okay, that's pretty good considering the levels we were at. And this is what I don't consider a draw. So considering that's probably my weakest formation now, so nothing has really died in there. Just some T2s on Gandalf. So that's actually a really good result. We'll just have to sit through the draw. Yes, my Z7 Dane. He's sat waiting to do some 130 soon. He's still got roughly. He should have about 7 hits left in him, and I haven't used the stand pot yet. So I'm hoping I get him to level 20 soon. But I'm just trying to get to ring level 10 before I kind of push into getting that, so I can have a little break. Yeah, probably all my buildings by day 10. I'm known sadly as being quite a farmer. It's sort of a bit of an in-joke in the fellowship that we're in. So I tend to have quite high production all season, and this is sort of the one bit of the game. Obviously, it's changed this season because you only get starting with a weapon, but it's the one bit of the game that I finish kind of top 3 after the first day and probably top 5 after the first week. So I do get a lot of my buildings done early, and I suppose I'm quite lucky like that. But yeah, you kind of don't need to do every building, is probably my point. So once you've kind of got these to 15, 16, and you've got your storage as high as you can, and your barracks is high, and your conscription post high, and your apothecary is high, obviously this is at 3, there's a lot down here that I'll max that out eventually, but there's a lot that I probably won't do a great deal with. So I won't max all my quarters if I won't use them. So after this elf start, I will switch probably to dwarves. I'm only using these because if the sort of logic that I had now, I suppose I can talk through it while we're on this. So yeah, you can be building all the way through the seasons, but I try to get it done as early as I can. Ah, Has. I knew one of you'd find me eventually. I'm using elves, and this is exactly what I was about to talk about, so thanks for that. Basically, so I can use the character that I hate the most, Gil-galad, and the reason for that is because now that we're only starting with a weapon, I feel things like the skills which give you flat percentages of things are now really, really useful. So, for example, Gil's Kingly Kin skill now for farming, which was always good anyway, but now is genuinely you have to use it. I love the Elven Dwarf, Legolas, yeah. So I kind of have used it for a farming technique because I'm getting lots of buffs. It's the same principle really as Gandalf the White. So if you've got a weapon, you've still got White Rider at plus 25% because it's flat because of it being in the skill. I don't max White Council first because most of the effect is actually modified by the focus stat. So yes, I could get an extra instance of damage, which would be useful. But if I'm looking for points early on, that's probably what I do because a lot of this is modified by focus. So I've been trying to look for commanders. I've been farming with commanders who actually have decent skills, and I need to use Saruman soon, who is actually going to be probably my highest level commander by the time I've finished, I would guess. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sub Saruman in for probably in this formation, I would guess, not for Witch King, probably for Scalhelm, I would say, and then go from there, I think. Porky, where are you now in this this leaderboard lark? Because you were doing all right for a while. Where is Porky? So Riv's up here as well. Has, where are you? Don't be lazy, you man of many theories. So what's happened this season? Porky, what are you doing down here? So what's happened this season is I will boost as well because this is really important and I get told off when I'm not. So that's my boost doing. So what's happened this season is we've actually combined with some of the old only crew, which we've played against a couple of seasons ago, and they're quite a nice bunch, sadly. So it's nice to have them in the team. So we're a lot stronger this year than what we were, well, this season, than what we were last season. So we'll have to see how that goes. I think we're arguably, I would think, the biggest. I don't think it's wrong in saying it. I think we're the biggest kingdom on the server, I would say. Quite looking forward to working with Honk. I've heard good things about them, and I've also heard they like to troll people quite significantly, so I presume there'll be lots of fighting going on. So other people like Riv are still taking tiles as we go along, so we're actually still in 5th. But I'm quite happy with that at the moment because I tend to only really get in the top 5. Yeah, power-wise now, I've just checked for you, Porky, don't worry. But yeah, so I tend not to sort of reach the top 10 for about another 2 or 3 hours, so things are going okay so far. So what we're going to do now is we are going to hit this formation here. We'll do that. And we'll take out Scalhelm. And we're going to go for a 60 and hope that we can take it even though. So what we're doing now is it's called power leveling, I suppose. Hang on, Toxic Hearth. Yes, you're up there somewhere, I'm sure. So what we're going to do now, this is called power leveling. So I'm going to use my level 9 Saruman, who's nearly full on stamina. And I'm going to throw him into the mix with my Witch King, who has now got 3 pieces of gear, but this one's completely useless for what I'm trying to do with him, so we're going to switch that onto him. So he's got more focus to cause more damage. And we have Gandalf here. So these two are higher levels. So what we're going to try and do now is we're going to try and take a 60 with this level 9 guy. And then from there, hopefully, and I say hopefully, we can power level Saruman a few levels, and he will be able to help us in getting higher power tiles in about an hour's time. So we have got a tile 3, which is good. As I will do the leaderboard as soon as I've set up, I promise. Has is one of, sadly, and I say sadly because no one really likes to admit this, but Has is probably one of the most knowledgeable players in the game. The difference is that we build stuff slightly differently. So Has tends to build his Gandalf with really high focus, and I tend to build mine with quite a lot of command and still okay focus. So I would build this, for example, with Noldor, probably Wizard's Hat, and then something here that will have command and unit defense, and then a chess piece with focus. Has just goes pure focus and tries to go for a really high white council. And he spends half the day trying to disagree with me, I think. It's probably a fair assessment, right? So here you go, Has, just for you, leaderboard. So Raven's still at the top, unsurprisingly, then Marissa, then Riv. Who I think Riv's got a couple of 130s and a 150 already, I think. Then we've got Atomic Punisher Wolfman. I still love that name. And the Ogre account, which is a huge account. This is a huge account as well. I think this is the old Kaifas account. Welcome from Odin. Nice to see some players and some familiar players from Odin knocking around still as well in that team. So then we've got Barbara from Mesh, Bane from Otter, Mavius from Hunk, and then we're going down. Scott's is at 18, Leaf's at 20, and then we're into a French contingent here. So Has, where are you in all this? And Kennel's got a really good account as well, so. And Hugh. Has, where are you? What account are you playing on? The Elves one? Playing on Elves there, aren't you? So I think Has in the chat is on. You're not playing? Yeah, okay. I think Has is somewhere on this account here, I'm guessing. Yeah, Ogre and Funk are good. I miss Ogre because he was a really good player. I know New Ogre's also good, but Has tell second pilot to sort the life out because they're getting behind. I do have some quite good commanders. They're not as good as some others on this server, I'll be honest. You can be looking at 60 power towers pretty easily by hour 6, yes. It's just a case of I've been using a lot of different commanders. So I think now under the new routine, I even used Elrond as a tank to start with, just to try and get a few early tiles. So yeah, you can do that. Greetings from Brazil. Hi. I'm glad you've started playing again. It's nice to see people coming back to the game. For me, if you've got an R10 Shadow, an R7 Skullhelm, an R6 Sauron, an R5 Saruman, and an R5 Witch King, I would personally use Shadow, Sauron, Saruman, and Witch King, because unless you want to put your house into a Skullhelm, and I genuinely mean that as your house into a Skullhelm, you need to be in the Z levels with really refined gear to get the maximum out of it, whereas Saruman, Sauron, and Witch King in particular, you'll get good stuff out of. I actually really like Witch King as a tank now. I did a video on him the other day, and I still don't really know exactly how I'd do it, but I think him as a tank, sort of with 5 points here and a few, probably the 10 points still in here, 10 in here, and 10 in Black Captain, so you've got some follow-up. I know another guy who's been using him recently and been getting sort of 70k out of him while still not losing more than a third of an army, so he's really useful now. It's the R5, I think, that's probably the best. So this R5 here that scales off his command stat. So if you're building him as a bit of a tank, you will get a little bit of damage out of him from these 2 skills, and this will avoid White Council if you're fast enough, so which is pretty handy. But this skill here, whereby you are looking at minus 20 attack, focus, and defense for 5 rounds and modified by the command star, is really powerful. He can also be stun and madness immune, so you only hit 2 enemy commanders, but you've probably got a 3 times chance of hitting the ones that you want, because if you hit a Gandalf, you'll drop the focus, so the White Council goes down. If you hit one of the 2 damage dealers that someone's likely to have, whether it be a elemental or an attack, sort of physical damage dealer, this is also quite a positive thing to do. Mix that in with a Sauron and his R5 of the enemy, where you're also reducing, you can get some attack commanders down below 100 physical damage, so pretty impressive, to be honest. What do we want to do here? So I'm going to put another point in here, I think. And then I can now add a helmet to him, which is going to be this, I think, for the sake of this formation. So we're probably going to hit another 60, I would guess, because I doubt we've took that clean. So we've took about 200 loss, which isn't horrendous. It's a shame we've lost so many tier 2s, but when we're trying to power level someone, that's not a bad result, really. So I think in probably 6 or 7 tiles time, Saruman's likely to be probably my highest level commander, and then I'll chuck him into some 130s, I think. By now, normally I'd probably be looking at 130s, but it's not quite that simple. So we'll go searching for another. We'll go searching for another 60, I think. Probably one more that's palatable. So they're mediums, but that's going to be quite a hard tile because there's a lot of damage in that. There's going to be a load of damage in that as well, I think. Yep. What's behind door number 3? There's still quite a lot of damage in that. Unless Dwalin's got something ridiculous like the heal, which he hasn't. What's Theo got? The renewed. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a meh skill. Trolls don't really cause any damage. Hergon's also got some physical. That tile might be okay, actually. But we'll just need to switch to all small units to make that so it's actually palatable. So, I'm quite conscious that I seem to be destroying tier 2 elves a lot, which I would ideally not like to do. So where was that tile? Was that this one? No. This is where I've now switched to it, a certain tile, and I no longer can find the tile. Great. Meh. Genuinely lost the tile. How the hell do I do that? Go on then. The issue here is we are actually at tile limit. Even better. So this is where now it starts becoming a bit more tricky, because we don't really want to be dropping 130s if we can help it. But we don't have a commander at level 20 yet. And our ring is level 8. So we are going to drop a 30, which I don't really want to do. Hello, Rev. How are you? I see you're still flying up the leaderboard. This is who likes to call me Billiam, who is currently in second, to be fair to him. Have you used all your stamina and troops yet, Rev? It was this one here. So while I'm waiting around for a tile to drop, I'll just perspective a few more 90s, I think. Yes, if I could borrow your level 20s, I'll probably let you borrow my troops. How's that sound? There's that nasty LOTR tile. I'm not going near that again. LOTR, by the way, this is not a joke either. I do actually think has become okay since the changes since the PBE. I know some people don't like him, but I actually think he's quite decent now. So I try to avoid him on tiles because he peppers me. Oh, okay, so you've used all your A team. I'm okay with that. You won't be anywhere near me at the end of the day, Riv. We'll be avoiding the Aragon tile because he hits really hard. We might pin that one. That's not completely horrendous. So we're nearly at a point where we're going to have to try a 130, whether we like it or not. It's literally, it keeps doing this. I don't know if anyone else has noticed who's in this server, but you seem to, when you perspective, if you do them quick enough, the same tile seems to appear. Have you used any invigoration yet, Riv? That's a nice tile there. There's not a lot of damage in that tile at all. But this is just basically a patience game. I refuse to hit LOTR while on stream. What we got here? Okay, that's also a nice tile. So we've got a few 90s lined up. We just need to get past the 60 first, which isn't ideal to be dropping 30s at this stage. But hey ho. What was this? Zegrid. I mean, you don't see many Zegrid tiles. So let's go for that now that we've dropped tiles. No one needs help. How close and how many hits am I from level? Yeah, the Zegrid tile's alright, I think. Pure interest. What was the yeah, I don't like the LOTR tiles. What was the experience for a 130? So I think one of these that I've pinned was quite a nice tile, but I can't remember which one it was. I felt this was okay to hit, potentially, but I could do with really getting the troll counter. Because I have more small units than large. So even though I've pinned that, I won't be hitting that right now. Because I'm probably going to have to throw a full army at it and see what happens, I think. This is quite a nice tile for later on. Definitely. Have I actually clairvoyanced all these? I'm going to clairvoyance the 200 as well. We're miles away from a 200, but I just want to see what it is. Obviously, you can reset tiles as well by just sending a single troop at it, and we'll probably do that later on. Let's have a look what's in these. It's not the worst tile in the world. 18k, thank you. So that is probably the tile that I'm going to hit there, I reckon, as a 130 to start with. I have seen the new chests in season, but I haven't really paid it enough attention yet. Porky. Is it a gear chest? The one of Arda? So what I did find baffling is, obviously we've got a turbulence chest, and I only had to pull on it once to get my mythic because it was beyond whatever, and I actually got Bjorn, which is pretty nice. So you've got the normal Heroes Gather's chest, but then we just took that pretty easily, I think. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, so we'll throw them at a 90 in a minute, I think. Yeah, is it? So is the Arda chest the gear chest then? So if I just have a look on here, because I saw people kind of mention the gear chest earlier on, so that's just a normal one, I'm guessing, with commanders in. That's another one that's normal. An Azog chest. Can't wait for that. So is this the one, the Treasures of Arda? Is that the gear chest? Right, okay. So we get that at chapter 5. I wonder if they're going to limit the amount of pulls then. So chapter 5, 7 and 9. They've got to limit the amount of pulls on that, I would think. Either that or you're saving your money for this kind of... if you're going to be spending in game, then if it's the same sort of percentage as last time, that'd be pretty nice. This is hopefully going to be like the gold items chest that we've just had, but I imagine it'll be a slightly lessened version of. But they must be capping it at 200 to have it as 3 in a season. So is there no more Bjorn chest then? Or does it now depend on what season you're in? You can preview it. Oh, sweet. Okay. I hadn't not done that. Let's go back then and have a look. The Artifacts of Arda. Okay, so the drop rate... It is the same, 6.5%. And it's dropping Mithril as well. That's a bit bizarre. I feel like the Mithril's not a great drop, though. So you're saying they've all got different items in, I'm guessing. So that's 1. 5 was the other one, wasn't it? So that's definitely a 4. Oh yeah, it's different items. So if they've made sure... Yeah, 6.5% high, so that's the same as the one we've just had. But so if they made sure then that the Axe of Khazad-dûm is in a different one to the Palantir, I'm guessing. Yeah, 160 is normal rate. Yeah, so it's a great deal, but have they basically split it out then so that you can... So there's no Palantir in this one either, and there's no Axe of Khazad-dûm. So what's in the chapter 9 one? So yeah, so they've made it so the Palantir's in one on its own. Yeah, okay. I mean, in fairness, it's good for padding out your account. There's still, I guess, if you're looking for damage accessories, there's drums and Palantir in the same one, and you've still got the chance of getting a decent chest piece for a damage dealer if you want it. And then you've also got Cask of Submersion, High Elf Helm, and also this as well, which I actually really like now, the Chieftain's Go. Yeah, agree, Porky. The third one's definitely the best one, yeah. I've still got that video to make of your 1,000 coins. Okay, well, it's nicely gear chest now in season. I mean, I think the only thing that I found disappointing about the start of the season, these are really good actually. The only thing I found disappointing about the start of the season for me so far is that they didn't put any deals in at all. Yeah, Gaze is really good for DDs, particularly with a bit of command on there and a lot of attack. What was I supposed to be doing? This is my only problem when I... Okay, Riff. What was I supposed to be doing before you lot have distracted me? So this is why I no longer move up the leaderboard, because you lot start chatting to me and I start saying stuff. So do I go one more 60, I think? Or are we suggesting that I might be able to do a 90 at that level? I'm tempted to try a 90, but I'll probably do one more 60 first. Maybe get him to level 15. What level's Gandalf Grey? Gandalf Grey's already 15. I'm going to try a 90. This is probably going to end in disaster. But we're going to try a 90 that we've pinned, I think. So what was this? I mean, it looks fairly simple. Ranges are pretty squishy. I mean, I'm talking myself into a 90. I need to drop a tile first, though. Why is no one telling me that I need to drop a tile? Yeah, I am going to go chapters shortly. I just want level 10 first on the ring, and then I'm going to fly through the chapters. I love how you try to talk me into failing here, Has. I feel like there's an element here of wanting me to go horribly wrong. Thanks, Porky. Okay, so we need to switch to mediums for the counter. So let's go. I don't think I'm going to do this, by the way. I feel like this has got failed tile written all over it. Yeah, I kind of feel I'm a bit stuck on chapters at the second. I will be looking at 4th Commander hopefully soon. I will go back and donate as soon as I've started walking. As I say it. So let's go and hit a 90. If I hit that too soon. Oh, I have as well. Oh. I'll send, in anticipation, I'll send over King of the Dead, who can stand here and hopefully, after we've took the tile, which I'll probably draw on anyway, you can just walk on. Yeah, 40 cav on the back line. I've been using 20. And it's kind of been working all right. So, I mean, they should do okay, I would think. Particularly with a couple extra gear pieces on. So, backseat game is really helping, yeah. It's making me question every single decision that I'm making. So thanks for that. The Wizard. I have got to keep looking out the window at some stage as well, mainly because I'm getting a telly delivered this afternoon. Not that I didn't have a telly before, it's in a different telly. Okay, so I do think you're probably right about the chapters, if I'm being honest. We are going to go 130 next if we've got enough troops to do so. But I'm probably going to have to stack troops on all the comms, which is going to be a problem. And I've got no wood, which is also a problem. But I've got no level 20 comm to go up, so I feel like I'm at an impasse, but not necessarily a bad one. I mean, I could use some of I could use some of the speed ups and try and get some more grain. I've also been hearing that the tips from mobs are good now. I think people have been getting sort of 10k wood and stone from tips, which is pretty good. I logged on here for a reason. Genuinely can't remember what it is. Oh yeah, I was donating. That's what I was doing. So where am I here? Riv, stop being ahead of me, man. What are you knowing me for? There's a small delay, Riv, so I don't know what you're saying no about. You see, say day 2 or 3, I kind of put them on when I'm sleeping. So I tend to put them on probably for the 4 or 5 hours that I'll actually sleep later on while this is going on. I reckon this has got draw written all over it. Overnight on day 3? Are you nuts? I can't wait that long with having resource stuff knocking around. See, I told you it was going to be a draw. I just hope it's an alright draw. I mean, it looks okay. That's actually pretty good. The only issue is I don't think the comms are going to come back alive enough to actually finish the tile. Which is then slightly problematic. So, we're going to withdraw King of the Dead. Yeah, I did go elves just because I think I've already explained myself for the elves. I'm not explaining myself again. So what we're going to do here... I'm not just spending to get the market to 30. You've lost it. What we're going to do here is we're just going to make sure that we actually take the tile. And I have no idea how we're probably going to do that. Probably like this. So we'll fill this up. And as I'm not bothered about the stamina on any of these 3 comms, even though I did use Elrond in my first formation as a tank, and he actually did okay. I'm never rank 1 at this stage of the day. I always get towards rank 1 towards the back end. Buy a bunch of speed ups. I've already bought them all. So my market's is pretty much as good as it's going to get. I'm not just going to just pump it with this because it's just no. I'll just wait for tomorrow. So hopefully in a sort of 3 minutes time we'll take that and we'll move on. But yes, I am using elves. I apologise for elves. Yeah, I don't like to just kind of spend on it. I'll just wait till tomorrow and refresh. Stop trying to make me do bad things, Riv. I can't really build anything either, which is slightly problematic. I do think resources now are like really hard to come by. So what we'll probably do soon is we'll probably try a 130. And then at 4 to 5 hours in game, people start having the 4th commander. It's easy to manage. Yeah, I agree it is, but I think you're not going to get that 4th commander in the first 4 to 5 hours as much now. Unless you're real cracking, to be honest. Christ, I was struggling with 30 tiles in the first hour and a half, I think. What am I doing here? Oh, yeah. Waiting for Elrond to walk over. Yeah, I mean, it's easy to manage, but I don't know how you'd... at the moment, it'll probably be refined over a few seasons, but I think it's a lot more difficult now to get to 4 commanders early. I do feel a little bit bottlenecked, though. Which is unusual, because at this stage I don't normally feel that way. Where's everyone at on the leaderboard? Raven's up over 3,000, no surprise there. So after we take this tile, we should sit just nicely behind Riv again. And then a 130 would really help, to be honest. Can't remember what this was, I might reset it. See, that looks disgusting to me. I think this one wasn't great either. Alerts. Oh, and LOTR. What was this? I mean, it's not terrible, but I won't get the counter. Was this one with the counter or not? I've got a tile somewhere that's actually got the troll counter. I just don't know where the hell it is. Might be this one. See, I think that's okay. I don't think there's a great deal of damage in that. 3 points in Ring Wraith. Ugh, that's pretty grim. I mean, it will prioritise it in the formation that's actually got troops in it, which arguably makes it alright. Oh, fair play, Gandalf actually did take the tile. Okay. With very few losses as well. I genuinely didn't expect that. So, we're going to reset some 130s, I think. So we're going to drop Elrond. Why is Gil-galad the best commander in the game? I mean, that's a conversation right there. Or do you mean Gandalf the Grey? For me, Gil is okay. The end. He's no Dane, let's face facts. If you want a real job doing, use a dwarf. However, nice to see you do. So we're just going to reset some 130s, I think, by basically just sending one troop at him. So Gala gets, an elf of all people, gets the joy of getting rid of this army on the tile for me. And we'll get rid of some more. So we're probably at the point where 130 is needed, really. We do need to try and get to, I think it was 18k, so we're still going to be short. We're going to have to do 3 to get to level 20, which is an absolute pain. Or maybe a 130 and a 150 might work, because I think it was 21k. Lord of the Nazgul. Right, that tile should hopefully reset shortly. Let's go for, it's either a Mouth Sauron. Oh, Denny. Oh, Denny. I just haven't got enough horses to make that work yet. Yeah, there's a couple of elves knocking around. That's probably quite a nice tile at the end, but not for now. There is too many elves, sadly. But I do think it's necessary now to end up somewhere near the top end, sadly. Let's clairvoyance these. And then we'll go and jump into a weird old tile, I think. Can I just get trolls, please? Literally no trolls anywhere. What's this, trolls? I feel okay about that tile. What's a Danae doing to me? She's got no focus skill, so... what's Garthmog doing here? That can't be right, can it? Max level skill deals 30% physical damage. That can't be right. I mean, I'll take it if it is, but that literally can't be right. Go on, we're going to go for that. Why not? So, we're going to use Gil, I think. Worryingly. Let's go for... Gil can tank. Dane and Shadow with tier 1 archers. We have to leave them full. I presume most of these are going to die. I know, yeah, gatherings now, it literally takes forever to get there. However, we are going to at least attempt a 130 tile. And we will die, but, you know, the thought process was there. We are going to use defensive chess pieces now as well, because we've actually got troops on the damage dealers that we would quite like to keep alive. Ring level 9 to 10. Hang on, I'll have a look. Need some sort of chest piece with defense for Gil. There we go. My only command helmet with a little bit of unit defense. Not exactly ideal. That's how much I plan to play Gil this season. So we're going to have a go at the 130 like that. We're just going to get Shadow some health back. I'll check the ring while he does that. So we are ring level 8, nearly level 9. I would guess it's about 4,000 to level 10. So we're a good way away still, to be honest. What was this? Ugh. I need to stop pinning so many tiles because then I have no idea what's actually what. Shame you can't reset them with clairvoyance, really. What are you? Hopefully by the end of the day we'll own all these 130s. I'm actually not surrounded by too many people, which is quite nice. So we have mediums. And another troll formation, but with LOTR. Might pin that for later. Not with a fellowship pin though. I reckon it's about 4k from 9 to 10. So is it this one? Okay, we're going to go and hit that shadow formation and hope for the best. And then after we've took this 130, hopefully, we'll probably call it a day for now. And then I'll likely be back in a couple hours' time, I think. Let's check the leaderboard again. So Raven's pretty much out in front and pretty clear. If by some miracle we take this 130, we'll move into third at the minute. Which I'll take that. Yeah, I know, but there's nothing that's got trolls on for me to get the counter. That's my only problem with that. Yeah, River's flying along, to be fair. Did you take the level 2, the 200 tower with level 20s? I kept meaning to do this, actually. Perspective this. Yeah, I can show my gear. Give me 2 seconds. I'll have a look. That's actually probably not the worst 200 in the world, actually. I genuinely may try and hit that tower later on. So, gear-wise, it's probably easier to do it from this screen, I'd guess, because you can't actually add it to all the commanders yet. So, that is my current gear. So, normally on Dane, which will be in my main, I'll have this, 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 and this. Then on my Bjorn, I've got this, 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 and where the drums of Barad-dûr. And my drums. Then the other person in the main will be Gandalf the White, who will have this, 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 and this. And then my Sauron will have this, 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 and this, I think. I don't think we've got any fellowship pins yet, Riv. Yeah, I'll probably will try that 200 about level 25 because that was quite a nice 200, to be honest. I genuinely expect this to be a horrific tile that I've been goaded into. But I do need to get to level 20 to get through chapter progression, so... And I need the resources, sadly. I think then I'll need 3 anyway to get through the next 2 chapters, so... And I could do with a stone to gather off soon, I would say. So I'm probably an hour and a half away from gathering at this point, I would guess. And from there I should probably start doing a lot better. Yeah, so on my Sauron, I will be using Sauron in my main for PvP towards the end of the season. But I will have I'll have this Lang on him. His helmet will be this Call of the Forest. He will have this chest piece here, and then he'll have something like a Harbour Rivendell, because I've basically built him as a tank. I do think he's yeah, exactly. So for PvE, he's kind of struggling along. He's doing okay, but he's struggling along. PvE is a lot easier for him, but PvP is a lot easier for Sauron. I'll have him in my main because I'm going to use him instead of Gil. I'd really like this to turn green. Draw. I mean, that's pretty heavy, but I think I should just about take it. But I will send something else over just to mop up, just in case. That was horrific. So let's go. I can't send that over to mop up because he's not got enough stamina. I can't actually send much over to mop this up, which is a bit of a problem because I haven't got much left. However, thanks for goading me into that and killing all my troops. Oh, that's rough. I mean, in fairness, it's a decent effort. It's just the elf let me down. He's died way too easily. I mean, that's just typical of Gil-galad, isn't it? Hopefully, with having 2 full com healths, I should beat that tile. But that is a heavy loss at this stage, which we did not really need. And with not really much left to be able to make troops with, that is a problem. So we probably have to go back to start making some tier 1s, I guess, for now. Yeah, the Noldor Sword does work really well with Sauron. It's just I like to use one item, sort of like one piece of gear per commander if I can help it, so that it just helps with refines. So I've got a Noldor Sword that I use on Gandalf, mainly because I don't build mine as a full focus one. So it's kind of, as I like to say, pay money, take the choice. So I use the Lang. If I could, I'd use a Reckoning on him, just because I want my Sauron to tank quite nicely. If I could get more focus on him, I would. But I can't. So it's kind of just gear dependent on that, really. The draw with Gil-galad was rancid. Look at that. That's not a draw. I mean, it's good that obviously these guys have not used any commander health. And I get it's tier 1s versus them, but I was kind of hoping I'd probably have about 300 left, maybe 400. I should still take that down though, because I've got full health on both of them. Gil will be back alive, but there's no elves alive for him to protect anyway, so Gil is basically useless for this little bit of a fight. So what I might do is I might reskill him, because there's no elves left for him to protect, just to make sure, and I will go into Icicle. Yeah, it is too much losses, I agree. So what I'm just going to do here is, because there's no troops left for him to defend anyway, I'm just going to reskill him and give him some attack stuff. I think 130 has become a lot easier once you've actually got full gear as well, which at the moment I don't have. So I think if you can get to level 21st before you start doing 130s, that would be probably the more reliable option. And we've got the rest of the army here just in case of doing that. But we'll probably take an hour off in a second anyway and rebuild some troops and come back and probably try and take a second 130, I think, for chapter progression more than anything else. Oh, we'll see what that reset was. So yeah, so at the moment, once we took this, we'll go back up to around 4th, but that heavy loss is going to put us behind for a while, I think. There you go. So they did take it pretty easily in the end. I'm guessing Gil died again. Yeah, with his 418 damage. There you go then. Yeah, so I reckon on that note, we're going to kill it for a couple of hours. We're at ring level 9. I'll probably come back when I'm ring level 10. And we'll start talking through how we take more 130s a little bit easier. Always nice to prove Haz wrong. Okay, so on that note, as always in this server, keep yourselves farming, and